join you this evening for your annual New Chamber of Commerce banquet. And I want to thank Senator Tyler McCann for calling us, inviting us. And I want to thank Nina Hammond for coordinating everything with my chief of staff and Beard. And I also want to thank Nina for giving me her lucky paper clip for being nervous. So this is her first year as, on the chamber with being the executive director. And this is my first chamber banquet to speak. So I've got this in case I get a little nervous. But thank you all. And thank you so much to all of you who has had a hand in putting this evening together. And for all that you've done and continue to do with the city of Newton and the surrounding communities. One thing is for certain, and I'm sure many of you will agree, it is wonderful to be able to do things like this again. The importance of social interaction and face-to-face conversation can never be any more important or appreciated after our year of isolation. This last year has been very different. We have heard the word unprecedented numerous times, and none of us could have foreseen what was coming in 2020. Our state, our people, have faced so many different challenges, from a historic flood to tornadoes, an international pandemic, and an active hurricane season. The crisis just continues to come. Poor tape, right? But the true spirit of Mississippians will always prevail. Time and time again, I have stood in awe of the resilience, the generosity, and the resourcefulness of my fellow Mississippians. All of the events from last year make evenings like this all the more special. And I've never been more thankful to be a Mississippian. I'm sure that we share in my joy as we resume some normalcy of life. To visit with family and socialize with friends, enjoy sporting events, celebrate milestones in life like weddings, birthdays, and all of those things that we took for granted. Now it has all been returned to us. And all of these things are what we thrive on in Mississippi. The COVID-19 pandemic kept us apart from doing so many things that we love. This time last year, our world and busy lives came to a halt. And let me tell y'all, my 16-year-old, she told us during one of the times we were quarantining, because somebody had always been exposed and we had to quarantine, she said, "Mom, if I can just talk to some people not named Tate, Ely, Tyler, Emma, and Maddie again." So, here we are together tonight, a year later, and I'm thankful. So thank you all. This last year affected all of us in many different ways, and with every major event that our state encountered, each town and city was faced with its own unique challenges. I commend each of you for making the best of the tough situations that you faced throughout the last year, and I commend your perseverance and the dedication you placed into your city, your neighbors, and the surrounding community. It is in the most trying and difficult times that we are typically blessed with the greatest blessings. I believe that the last year provided us with many, many blessings. And one of my biggest takeaways from 2020 has been adapting to situations outside my control in order to best navigate uncharted waters. And I don't know, I'm sure y'all have learned many different things about yourself last year. I learned that I'm an awful stay-at-home mom and I do not like virtual school learning. But I think the very best of those that exemplified their adapting to situations outside of control were those first responders. And with all the challenges throughout 2020, I really felt incredibly inspired seeing how our leaders, doctors, nurses, teachers, and so many others learned to adapt in order to meet the needs of many people across our state. They are our true heroes, and they were the inspiration for our Christmas at the Mansion last year. This last year, our Christmas season looked a little different. Instead of a single night of people coming to tour the Mansion for tours, instead we offered 5 days, scheduled out in increments of 30 minutes each with only 10 people in each increment. We felt it was important to honor those on the front line and pay tribute to the many sacrifices they had made, but of course we still had to do it safely. While we did not have the typical crowds that we had in the past, we were still convinced we wanted to shine a light on our heroes for all who visited the mansion. And for those of any of you that tuned in to my Real Fun Facebook Live, we were humbled when Lester Holt did a segment on NBC Nightly News, and he included our decorations in his report when he highlighted all of the different states nationwide that featured something about the frontline workers. Despite the pandemic and other challenges, I've still been able to safely accomplish some of my goals by getting involved with communities and organizations all across the state. I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to update you on the things that we've been able to do throughout our first year in office while learning to adapt to this new normal. Being a Girl Scout leader for the past 22 years and a mother of 3, I'm naturally drawn to working with children. One of my favorite things has always been visiting schools all across the state and reading to students. While COVID did prevent us from actually being classrooms with the students, I was still able to read to many classes over Zoom and visits with students and teachers virtually. Again, I had to learn all that virtual stuff. But we recorded lots and lots of book readings for libraries. We received their summer reading list and record some of the books and post them on their websites in hopes that we would be able to be a resource for parents and students. I even had the unique experience of Zooming with a college class and listening to their feedback about virtual learning, as well as answering any questions that they had. As the world is opening back up, I've already begun to read to students in person, and I'm looking forward to a regular school year full of lots of activities next year. Another initiative that we have been able to kick off and that I'm very passionate about is the partnership with Keep Mississippi Beautiful. Not even a month after we took office, our state was faced with a historic and unprecedented flood in which the Pearl River crested at its 3rd highest level in Mississippi's history. Over 1,000 homes were flooded and many of our communities were impacted. After the rain finally stopped and the waters began to recede, I had my team reach out to Keep Mississippi Beautiful to see if we could develop some type of a partnership to clean up. We wanted to help the communities affected get back on their feet. The partnership became Team Up for Cleanup, which invited volunteers from across the state to join us in helping clean up the debris left by the flood and restore the beauty within our community. Our first cleanup effort was held in Jim Hill High School, which is in downtown Jackson, and I was overwhelmed by these students. We had over 100 volunteers, and we cleaned up the most awful, heavily polluted area in about 30 minutes. I was across the street from the school. And it was so encouraging to see how invested these young people were in their own community. Although COVID has slowed our efforts, we've been able to start back with our Team Up for Cleanup efforts in the last few months. In April, we kicked off the Great American Cleanup at the state capitol, and we ventured out to the surrounding areas in Jackson that were in need of some attention. Working with Keep Mississippi Beautiful is an area that you will continue to see me pour my energy into. Also in April, my team and I traveled down to the coast to meet with a company that makes and installs litter getters. Now, being a mom of 3 girls, in my mind, every time I see that, I read litter glitters. But litter glitters are traps that actually can be buoyed in our waterways to catch litter that pollutes the river and streams. And we were on hand to witness this first installation on the coast, and I think that's really going to be awesome as we see these come out statewide. We have had and continue to have an incredibly beautiful state abounding with wildlife and natural beauty. And the resources we are privileged to enjoy require the commitment of each of us to maintain. And it is our responsibility together to try to help maintain the beauty of our state. One thing I've always known to be true, and I have seen in action over the last year, is the willingness of Mississippians to help their neighbors in times of trouble and give their time to better our communities. We really are so fortunate to be from a state where neighbors take care of each other. Another project that I am most passionate about is called the Friends of the Mansion program. This program was started by Governor William Winter and First Lady Elee Reeves in 1974. And the Friends of the Mansion was created to preserve, maintain, and enhance the beauty of just the historic part of the mansion where we have tours. This committee also hopes to encourage enthusiasm, promote volunteerism, and help in building relationships. With each administration, the First Lady can either embrace this committee or choose to focus on other projects. During the pandemic, we had lots of time on our hands at the mansion, and so we had plenty of opportunities to notice areas of the historic section that just needed a little attention. So we updated the bylaws of this committee, and in conjunction with the Mississippi Department of Archives and History, we resurrected the Friends of the Mansion Committee. In August of 2020, we sent out invitations to friends and benefactors inviting them to become a Friend of the Mansion. and we were elated that it was so well received. To date, we have 150 members, and we have raised over $30,000. While we are excited about the energy generated by the resurgence of the Friends of the Mansion, we still have hopes of increasing our membership and contribution. Our fundraising efforts will go toward the refurbishing of the historic pieces and restoring them and the historic section of the mansion to its original beauty. My hope is that this membership will be able to sustain this perpetual fund for years to come, and I hope that we have a little bit of fun doing it. A little over a month ago, in April, we hosted the first ever Friends of the Mansion garden party and had silent auction. It was held in the east garden of the mansion, and it was a huge success. We had a wonderful turnout, and we hope to do this annual party every year for our members. We actually had a silent auction, and we auctioned off Christmas ornaments that we had artists create in response, in honor of the first responders. And that silent auction generated about $2,800 in outcome. I'm looking forward to many more events like this in the future, and it was so much fun visiting with everyone in person with no mask. So I hope to make a lot of new friends in this endeavor going forward. Of course, we are always looking for new members, so if anyone is interested, just let us know. It is so exciting to see how many people are passionate about volunteering and fundraising to preserve the history of our Mississippi Union. And I'm so proud that we've been able to resurrect this amazing program. While the last year slowed down for many of us, I'm so glad that we're still able to kick off some of these initiatives and still find ways to get involved with people and the communities. Again, thank you so much for having me and including me in this special evening. I cannot express how much it means to me to have your support and friendship and to get to work alongside all of you to better our state. Mississippi certainly has a bright future, and all of you have a vital part in playing in that future. And I'm looking forward to many more exciting opportunities in Mississippi. So thank you.